protect even the policies too. So you see here, like uses or connect, who might connect, customer. So these rules to apply to customer. Here we might be talking about B2B, which is business to business, or B2C, which is business to customer. So these are the things you're going to understand as we go on, but you can read about B2C or B2B too. So now, so you see it covers virtually everything, every information process. So now this is the standard you will see in any organization too. You might come in and they will tell you to rewrite this policy. So when you rewrite, obviously the version is going to change. Your name to be there. Someone is going to approve it too. Now look at this, saying at least 12 characters long. Longer passwords are generally more secure because why? So now in some organizations too, you have 20. And why do we have 20? Say it's a case of a server, or maybe like a critical asset or email that is being brute force. Now we have to increase this to 20. Now you have another policy for that too. So now it must include all this. Now if you now try to log in, or if you set a password that doesn't meet this policy, obviously it won't allow you to log in. So that's why you see sometimes, like I know all of us are familiar with it, like when you try to set up a password, it will tell you no, like you need to use another password, because that policy, when we set, when maybe the guys setting up, the infrastructure guys, they are setting up your password and everything, they are going to set that policy on that particular to match everything you see in here. So now if you understand this policy, that's when you are dealing with maybe password and you know like how to even make informed decision. Or let me give you another example of let me now link this back to SOAR. So now let's say we have a tool, for example, like say Panorays, or maybe like ZeroFox. So now these two, what do? They go out there to the dark web to go and look for compromised password of, say, the users within the organization, your name and everything. So now let's say maybe you use your email address, your company email address, go and register on Temu. This is real life scenario I'm giving you. Now, Temu's password policy is different from your organization's password policy. So now let's say now ZeroFox now comes back and say, you know what, for Lufashino, we saw your account being exposed, your credential being exposed, but the password there is 123456 on our ZeroFox. Now imagine that we have these alerts in our Sentinel too. Now imagine we have 400 alerts of this for different users within the organization. How are you going to go through these 400 alerts? Now we are not going to make use of SOAR. So now what do we want to write? Now we are now writing a rule in SOAR that, you know what, if any user within the organization or any email that has this domain, then as long as this password does not match our password policy standard, which is mixture of this 12 and this, close the alert. So now if let's say I'm now using $123 or maybe password, our policy says you cannot use this. But if I should now see that one in that alert from, say, ZeroFox or maybe Panorays, I'm going to write that rule, SAR, to close that particular alert because the password does not meet our password policy. So now that's why you see, like, if you understand some of these policies, when you are dealing with different alerts, you are going to resolve that alert with speed of light because you understand the foundation. But when you don't understand some of these things, then obviously you are going to struggle. So now you see, like, password blacklist, like when you create a system, automatically check it against this list. So now some organization will make sure like you cannot reuse your 10 last password that you used, 1, 2, 3, 4. You cannot use it. Let's say today you use financial management 001 at. Tomorrow you cannot use anything financial management. You have to make sure you mix it up properly. So that's password policy. So now you see like how from this policy, I linked it back to rule, and at the same time, I can link it back to SOAR because I understand the foundation. So when I understand the foundation, I can even, let me call it, I can, no, then don't let me call it like, I can cook anything for you because I understand the process. So now look at, now this is the policy. Now, if you're after your password, you must make sure like there's MFA at the same time too. Now, this is policy. If you remember, I said something earlier on, like, okay, so now if you authenticate using MFA, then you are logging in from AD join device, close the alert. That means you are the one with your laptop. Or I can even say in the alert, if there's a Windows sign-in from that IP, Windows sign-in is telling me like you are the one that logged into that device by yourself. Close the alert. So now you see, like, if you now come down a bit, now you now see we will adopt Microsoft Azure Active Directory to help Fab Security manage users' identity. What are we saying here is just like is that, you know what, every device from our organization must be joined to Azure AD. So now what are we doing with this? This is how we monitor any external device trying to connect. So now the moment I see you trying to log in into your Microsoft Office on another laptop, it should deny you access. That's what we are saying. So from there, we can even create conditional access policy to make sure like this is being monitored. So now you see like requirements, new user, give them temporary password to be changed at first login. So that's why you see like in most cases, after the first, they give you your password. They make sure like you change it. Now, what are we trying to do? The security guy or the SD guy, which is service desk team that gave you your password, they don't know your new password. Now, routine change. Some organization is 90 days, some are 60 days. So every 365 days, and you see, it says recommended only if MFA is not used. So then, suspected compromise, immediate change. So now, say you are now dealing with a phishing alert whereby a user clicked on malicious link. You will see we now write something like, you know what, please reset. Maybe you are not the one doing it. You are instructing maybe a service desk analyst, or if it's you, you now see the reason why you must change the password because you have it in policy. So now you can see how we are linking everything back to policy. So now you see the role of privilege. So sometimes, like say you are an admin and your account was breached, first thing we want to do is we want to remove you. Remember I explained role and group yesterday, whereby we will create a group, we add role to that group, we will now add you to that group. So now in that case, what are we trying to do? Your account is being compromised, or say a user, high-level user, privileged account. What are we trying to do? That's why you see in most cases, like when we start reading, you will see like the first thing they want to do is they will go and remove that user from every group, admin group. So that's why what we covered in here, role and privilege. So now users should not reuse any of their last 5 passwords. Now, another organization might be 3, another one might be 5. So every organization, they do what is best for them. So now, password storage. Now, like I said, if you remember yesterday, some people, they will write their password on a sticky note and put it on their laptop. Or you save your password on maybe a text file, TXT, and you now name that file as password. So you can even create a query to search for any file named as password, PWD, anything. So the next thing I will do is I will reach out to you, tell you to delete that file. But me, there's one thing I do. I like to be proactive. So now the moment I see that file, instead of me to reach out to you, I will just, the hash value of that particular file, I'll go and add it to EDR to quarantine that file for me. So immediately it's going to delete that file from your device. So I don't even need to come to you and start explaining why did you save password. Like when you try it today and you try it tomorrow, and if I see like you've done it several times, then that's when I can raise a ticket, maybe even send you to user awareness training. So like if you understand all these policies, you are going to understand a lot when it comes to cybersecurity. So it will allow you to make informed decision when you are even having conversation out there because you understand the policy. Everything starts from policies. Like the last one, like if you see, I gave them a lot of policy to go and write BYOD access control, different ones. Like if you see different groups, I give them to, like just for them to go and write. So the things like me, I always say, like I said earlier, or like I will hold your hand and work with you and take you from that say is a roll of maybe 1 to 100. I can take you from that 100, that roll 100, I can take you to 50. But if you now go in line with when anything I give assignment, if you do it, then obviously it's going to take you faster, maybe to even levels. Let me just say maybe level 20. And when you now start work, it will take you to wherever you want to go. So this is just like a cheat code, like you understanding the policies. And when you understand the policy, so what you can do is you can go on and look for, okay, giving like 50 cybersecurity policies. Now write all these policies for me. So when you can use AI to write the policy, when you now read everything, you now understand all these things we are talking about. So you see, now we are done with the policy.